Days of historic flooding in Western Europe has now claimed at least 195 lives. Just take a look at some of the devastation. Homes have been destroyed, roads washed away, hundreds of people remain missing, and authorities fear more bodies will be found. Now, parts of Western Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands were hit with extreme flash flooding after unprecedented rainfall. And now, neighbouring countries are helping with what are search and rescue operations. CNN reporters on the ground in the two worst affected countries. Sam Kiley is in the North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany, and Chris Burns is in neighbouring Belgium. Sam, let's just start with you. These are floods, the like of which most people will never have seen. Just what is going on the ground?
Well, you say the likes of which people haven't ever seen before. Down in the Netherlands, where I was just a few days ago, they had the highest levels of water as a result of this inundation that they'd seen since 1911. I think similar statistics will apply right across Germany. But look at the devastation here behind me, Becky, here in Schul. This has been, in a sense, become the kind of symbolic town for the whole of the devastation that has been visited in Germany. It has been the country that's been worst affected, with some 160 or more casualties, many hundreds of other people unaccounted for, not necessarily missing, but communications are down. It really was a devastating series of flash floods, not rivers necessarily swelling, although the Ahr, of course, did flash flood as a result of gigantic amounts of water pouring off the hills here. I've been in the woods here, measured it up to my hips on almost perpendicular slopes. Really, really frightening. And on top of that, of course, there's been fears that dams might burst. And downriver from where I'm standing now today, this was the scene.
A business ruined, slung away almost as quickly as it was washed away. Flash flooding engulfed Thuy's Vietnamese restaurant, Phu 68. Her father filmed the rising waters in Euskirchen. It's one of the many towns engulfed by floods that have killed at least 158 people across Western Germany.
A lot of friends, they have a restaurant, a house, it is completely destroyed. I have a lot of friends, they are in near of the water. The house is not standing.
Thuy's restaurant had only been open 2 weeks since the most recent COVID-19 restrictions were lifted. Now she's dependent on friends and former diners to help clean up. The violence of the flood is visible everywhere.
The disaster that engulfed this town wasn't the result of a swollen river bursting its banks. It was the result of flash flooding, of massive amount of rainfall coming in an incredibly short period of time, and created torrents that swept through these streets, often this high.
Swollen rivers drained the floods eventually, but looming over the area has been the future of the Steinbachtal Dam. Parts of it collapsed and several villages below it evacuated. Engineers were rushed in to bring its levels down before it burst. Scenes like this and much worse are being repeated across Western Germany and in neighbouring Belgium. Unseasonal rainfall has also hit the Netherlands and Austria and the Czech Republic. While many are grieving, there is an energetic sense of community as cleaning up starts.
I don't know from where all the generators come from, where all the pumps come from. I don't know the people around here, but everybody is helping each other.
The costs of this disaster are almost incalculable, but there will be a reckoning when the history of what happened here comes to be written amid the climate change crisis. It's likely to say, this was a warning.
Now, Becky, since that piece we've been speaking, or we've seen a statement from Hannah Clokes, who is a British academic at Reading University, part of the group in charge of issuing warnings against exactly this kind of disaster across Western Europe. And she has said that the failure of governments to respond to the warnings that they were given has been inexcusable, Becky.
Well, certainly Angela Merkel calling these scenes surreal. Thank you, Sam. Let's get to Chris, who is in Belgium. More than 160 people there remain unaccounted for. What are authorities doing to narrow the search? And for those who are now in the throes of a massive cleanup, what is going on to support them? Chris?
Yeah, Becky, the search does go on. It is complicated by gas leaks, which we were evacuated from in one search. And here we're looking at a massive cleanup effort that the government is doing, that individuals are doing. And they're also living with what happened last Thursday night. In fact, let me bring you over here to one of these buildings over here. We talked to one of the people who evacuated at the last minute. She saw the water. A neighbor tapped on her window and told her this.
I was sleeping. It was my neighbor who tapped on my window to warn me because the water was up to my window. So after that, I took the initiative. I warned my other neighbors and took refuge with my neighbor on the second floor that night.
How did he feel? He must have been terrified. Looking out the window and the water rising, how did he feel?
I was all confused. I didn't know what to do. My priority was to save my neighbor. Like my neighbor saved me, I had to save my neighbor on the floor above, too.
So Aurélie and others here, only 40% of the city here in Verviers has electricity. They can't drink the water, and there's growing anger about the fact that perhaps officials could have warned them a bit earlier, and even the mayor here told us in an interview, we hope to play you that next hour, that if they had gotten proper warnings, they could have evacuated and avoided a lot of deaths. Becky?
Chris, are people satisfied that enough will be done, or certainly is being done at present, to ensure that they can, for example, get insurance claims executed on? What's the story on the ground?
Yeah, that's a huge question. The government has set aside a few million for the cleanup, has set aside millions for small business loans for people to rebuild their lives, but it's not going to be nearly enough. It's probably going to have to be a much bigger budget on that, and that's what we're going to have to see. And about this blame game, there are calls by the mayor and others that there should be a national inquiry, a parliamentary inquiry, to figure out why there was this communication breakdown on warning people to get away from this tsunami that crashed through here Thursday morning.
Sam, just finally with you, you talked about the fact that there has been much criticism that these governments should have, there was enough warning from forecasters. These governments should have known, and more might have been done to warn people. There is, of course, also a great connection being made to climate change at this point. What are you hearing on the ground?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I haven't simply spoken to anybody on the ground who's a victim of this, who doesn't believe it's a consequence of climate change. They don't live in a bubble. They live on the globe. They can see what's gone on in Canada. I spoke just 10 minutes ago to Nicholas Peters, and he said, look, who's just here in Schuld cleaning up his parents' devastating house. And he said, look, when you see 50-degree temperatures in Canada in midsummer, don't be surprised if we see these events happening in Europe. By the way, of course, there have been mass flooding events in Central Western Europe and in the United Kingdom frequently over the last 10 to 15 years. And again, Professor Coles at Reading University, who's responsible for studying this sort of stuff, has drawn an absolutely direct red line between what happened here and what's going on in the wider climate change debate. I don't think anybody's interested in debating whether or not this is a result of climate change. It would just be considered foolish here in this town of Schuld, at least.
Fascinating. Sam Kiley's there, and to Chris Burns as well. Thank you.